Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Please comment, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also, share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please go out there, follow me across all my social media platforms, and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. Boy, oh boy, do we have quite a bit to talk about, okay? There's reports coming out about the Jets ready to move on from Zach Wilson after this season, and there's quite a bit to discuss. Listen, I know you folks see the change in the background. I'm moving and shaking during the holidays. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves as well with their loved ones, their friends, and their family, and enjoying themselves during their holidays too. So again, happy holidays to everyone and happy New Year's to everyone as well. So now we're going to discuss this, man. Look, Glazer comes out with a report, and it says the Jets are done with Zach Wilson, okay? They're going to move on from him after this season, okay? And he had quite a bit to say. The big thing was the Jets have lost all confidence in him, Zach Wilson. And he also said that Zach Wilson has lost all confidence in himself. Whew. Boom. That's huge, man. That's huge. That is huge. And again, the rumors are swirling that they're going to release him or trade him after this season. And man, this comes at a bad time as well, this report, which is kind of leading people really starting to believe it's lending credence. Again, Glazer is he's a credible guy because this report is coming days after the New York Jets benched him against the Jaguars. Now, again, we all know Zach Wilson was terrible in that game. He was throwing up hope and a prayer footballs, just praying someone would catch the ball. He just looked terrible in that game. He was inaccurate, balls in the dirt, missing wide open guys. It was just awful. It was absolutely awful. But the big thing from that game was they benched him in the third quarter. They brought in Streveler. Streveler comes in, and the offense and the team just lit up behind him. Boom. They started to try to get some mojo flowing and get some things together. Streveler's first drive, he was able to get in Jacksonville's red zone. His first drive had more yardage in it than Zach Wilson had at all offensively up until that point. And so that is another quarterback, yet again, that's been able to come in and look better within this offense than Zach Wilson has. Josh Johnson from last season looked better in the offense than Zach Wilson. All right? Joe Flacco has looked better in the offense more consistently than Zach Wilson. Streveler comes in, looks better in the offense than Zach Wilson does. And clearly, Mike White has looked better in this offense more consistently than Zach Wilson has. So it's like, man, clearly as well, they talked to Zach Wilson after the game as well, and he talked about, not seeing things out there and how his confidence, he needed to get that together and it being shot. More recently, they've spoken with Sulla as well about Zach Wilson. He's talked about how Zach Wilson's confidence is shot and how he needs to, string some things together to get his confidence back on track. Reporters have also asked Sulla as well, about Zach Wilson here with the New York Jets. And Sulla came out and said, look, we're not going to give up on Zach. We're going to continue to work with him, but we won't give up on him. There were also a reporter as well that asked him directly, hey, is Zach Wilson still your number one guy, still the future of the New York Jets at quarterback? Is he still your guy? Now, when they asked him that, he kind of sidestepped that question. Okay, I'm going to keep it real. He sidestepped the question. And what he said in response was, look, if you have a Jets uniform on, we're going to work with you. And we're not going to give up on you. We're going to keep working with you. We're going to push you. We're going to continue to do what we can as coaches to help you. All right. But ultimately, your play out there on the field will determine, whether you're a starter or wherever you go here. And that was it. But one thing he did not do was come out and say unequivocally, yes, Zach Wilson will be the Jets quarterback going forward. He's our future. He did not say that. There's a stark difference between now and the start of the season. Clearly, because of Zach Wilson's play and the things that he's done that have been real bad. Another thing that's also, hit with Zach Wilson as well, Mike White has been cleared to play against the Seattle Seahawks, okay? Our playoff our playoff hopes are still on the line. We're still hopeful. We're still alive. We're still alive. All right, we're still alive. Okay, we can make some things happen, and the New York Jets could end up making the playoffs if, at this point, if we win, win out the rest of the season, and New England loses, a game, but which is very possible. So the Jets are still alive. Mike White has been cleared. His ribs are good to go. Now, Sulla came out and said, hey, he's going to be our starter. He also said Joe Flacco is going to be our number 2. All right? And then Zach Wilson was going to be inactive. Now, this is not the first time this season that Zach Wilson's been inactive. No, this will be like the second time. Because he was inactive last time after that Patriots game where he was terrible. And then he came out and made some comments to the, post game to the media that did not sit well with a lot of the locker room, which caused a little, brouhaha there, which he's apologized for, but it was very insensitive comments that he made, basically saying, hey, I don't owe the defense anything, whatever. Like, he just kind of brushed them off, but it wasn't good. So this is the, second time he's been inactive. And honestly, the issues with Zach Wilson, especially mechanically, I didn't think were going to get fixed immediately after he was made inactive the first time. They talked about a reset and all these things. He's got a lot of issues mechanically, and he's not seeing things out there on the field. He's not. And, the couple of weeks that he was inactive, I didn't think that he was going to be ready. And when he came back, we kind of saw the exact same things that we saw. Detroit and the Jaguars, the same stuff. Outside of those big flash plays against Detroit, he was doing that. That's why we lost that game, because he could not do the simple stuff. He was still throwing balls inaccurately, all that stuff. Outside the big splash plays, down the foot, get outside the pocket, bootlegs and stuff to, CJ Uzama and stuff. Outside of that, the simple stuff, he would absolutely, balls in the dirt, missing guys wide open, balls behind guys, all the same stuff that we saw before. So, same thing we saw against the Jags. So now he's inactive again. And I think, honestly, unless there's a big injury, which I hope there isn't, unless there's a big injury, he's probably going to finish the season inactive too. I think they're going to continue, again, to work with Zach Wilson. And I think that next season coming, at this point, I don't think they're going to cut Zach Wilson. I don't. I really don't. At this point, and I'm sitting here, I do not think they'll cut Zach Wilson. I think they're going to take a lot of time to help him with his mechanic, get him with a solid QB coach, make sure he's in shape, and get him rolling that way. I do think that he'll be in a quarterback competition, though, for real. Like, I think this season they're going to bring guys in. I think that a lot of people talking about Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers, those are great dreams, but I think at this point those are pipe dreams, okay? We went through the same thing with Deshaun Watson. People were just like, oh, Deshaun Watson, he's going to be a Jet, and it didn't happen. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love Lamar, but I just don't think that they end up here, especially with Lamar. I think he's probably going to end up working something out with the Ravens somehow, because if he leaves that franchise, their offense is just going to fall off of a cliff into the ocean. It's going to be done there. So I think the more likely candidates to be here is Carr from the Raiders. I think he's a guy that can be able to come here as a solid veteran to come here and hold the fort and give us some, solid snaps and not kill us offensively. And I also think that Jimmy Garoppolo will be a likely name as well to end up here. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is not great, but he has familiarity with the offense and the staff here, Sulla and LaFleur. So I think he's a guy that's going to be able to come in here and just hold the fort. And he's had success in the system. Now, is he, out of this world? No. But he's decent enough to not kill you offensively like we've seen with Zach Wilson. I think the biggest name, especially if he continues to play well the rest of the season, is going to be Mike White. Mike White is definitely going to be in there, and if he continues to play well the rest of the season and closes out looking as good as he's been looking, he's probably going to be the New York Jets starting quarterback going forward, to be completely honest, at least for the next couple years here, if he can just continue to be solid the way he's been. So I think that Zach Wilson's going to be in a competition, and I think at best Zach Wilson's probably going to end up being the Jets' number 2 or number 3 quarterback next season at this point, the way I look at it. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. Do you feel that the Jets will cut Zach Wilson after this season? Do you think he'll be traded? If so, what do you think we can actually get for him? I don't think you'll get anything for him, to be completely honest. What are your thoughts about Sulla and the way they've handled the quarterback situation? How do you feel about that? And just give me your thoughts, man. What do you think about Zach Wilson's future? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the Jets quarterback situation as well? Who do you think they end up with? Do you think it's Mike White? Do you think it's Garoppolo? Do you think it's, are you a guy that thinks Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson are going to end up here? Comment down below. Let's go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.